Meeting. Welcome, everybody. It is December 23rd, and this is a special town board meeting of the town of Rhinebeck. Would everybody please stand and join me for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, we had.
You have to wear your Zoom pants too when you stand up.
I did it myself.
No, I'm talking about I didn't realize it.
Thanks, Michael.
No, not you, me. Not you.
We have a local law amending Town Code Chapter 125 zoning in the matter of adding definitions pertaining to hospitality uses in Article 8 definitions in the Town of Rhinebeck code adjourned from November 23rd and December 14th. So that is open. Before we do anything, I'm going to ask for a motion for Resolution 2020-242, accepting the proposed local law and scheduling of a public hearing for proposed local law to be numbered of the year 2021. It should be amended. Let's just open this and then I'll do my amendments. Entitled A Local Law Amending Town Code Chapter 125 Zoning, Section 68. .mm in the matter of revising Country Inn 2 standards to clarify the intent and requirements contained therein in the town of Rhinebeck. May I have a motion?
So move.
Thank you, Chauncey. May I have a second?
Second.
Who is that, Alan?
Alan.
Okay, I'd like to amend this resolution. At the top, it should be the year 2021. And on the second page, the second resolve from the bottom, we are scheduling a public hearing for January 25th, 2021, not 2020. So I have two amendments on this resolution. May I have a motion on the amendments to the resolution?
Make a motion.
Thank you, Ed. May I have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Alan. All in favor of the amendments to the resolution?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So move. I still have an open motion on the table to accept this local law resolution. I don't have to do roll call on this, but all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed on the town board?
No.
So the motion carries unanimously. Michael, would you like to speak to this at all?
Very, very briefly, this was working with Jim Levy at Planning Four Places and number of the board members. This was a resolution and amendments to the zoning, Chapter 125, per the request of the planning board and others to identify and address a lack of specificity related to density for the Country Inn 2s, which the planning board had claimed was giving them difficulty in adequately assessing density allowances for Country Inn 2 use. And there was also a lack of definition and clarity with respect to the membership clubs regarding country inns. So there was extensive amount of effort made to amend these regulations and to clarify those. Now, granted, there are a number of moving pieces and we tried to anticipate and cover and not create any inconsistencies, but certainly I think the planning boards and the county and members of the public might see issues that we didn't see in preparing this, and that's That is why the board will be referring this to the planning board as the next step in the county, and then coming back and holding public hearings. In the meantime, before we refer it, we'll prepare some secret analysis looking at the differences and the potential impacts that this may have caused in density compared to what the prior regulations were. And those will get also sent along with the referrals, and then come back to you for the opening of the public hearing in January 2021.
Thank you. I'm going to let me open the other one and then we can see if anybody has any questions. I'd like a motion for resolution 2022-43, accepting the amended proposed law to be numbered of the year 2020, entitled a local law amending town code chapter 125 zoning in the matter of adding definitions pertaining to hospitality uses in Article 13 definitions of the town of Rhinebeck. May I have a motion?
Move.
Thanks, Chauncey. May I have a second?
Second.
Who is that, Alan?
Alan.
Thank you. I'm going to amend this again, make an amendment to the title. It should be a local law of the year 2021 on the top, and then the last whereas should be amended to say the town board has determined that the local law as amended is acceptable for the purposes of undertaking the local law adoption process, that the town clerk is hereby directed to post and provide notice of the public hearing as required by law, prepare the appropriate seeker analysis, and to refer the proposed local law to the Rhinebeck Planning Board, Conservation Advisory Board, and the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development in the event that they have any additional comments on the said local law. John, I can provide you that language tomorrow if you need it, but it's basically the same that was on the bottom of the first local law. And the second amendment is that we are adjourning the public hearing to January 25th, 2021, not 2020. So may I have a motion to accept the amendments to the resolution?
So moved.
Thank you,
Motion.
Alan. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ed. All in favor of amending the resolution?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed on the board to amending the resolution? All in favor of accepting the resolution?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any against? So the motion passes unanimously. I guess, we technically do have a public hearing open on the definitions. We don't, we've set the public hearing for the country in two, but I'm happy to take brief comments or questions at this point. There is a public hearing scheduled for January 25th, 2021 at 6 p.m. Victoria.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Victoria Polidoro from Rodenhausen Shaw Polidoro.
Hi.
Represent Mensch Grasmere LLC, which is proposing a country in two. I think you've all received my letters on the prior version of the zoning law. We took a preliminary review at this new version. We're going to be sending along some technical comments, but we think they go a long way towards finding the balance between the town's need for clarification and the need for flexibility in running a business and a resort.
What does, Victoria, this new law or your comments?
The new drafts that we just took a look at, we just saw them.
Okay.
But in order for the board to have some context for our comments, probably the past comments and the ones that are going to be forthcoming, we thought it might be helpful to just have a quick overview of the project. We're not sure everyone's familiar with it. And we actually have a representative from Soho House here tonight. It's an intended operator, potential operator, and they can answer any questions the board have,
Are you
We're try-
asking to make a presentation as a part of comments on a public hearing?
As part of his comments, he'd like to take a 3-minute elevator pitch about the project, just so you can understand where our comments are coming from
Sure.
and how the law impacts us for the
Sure.
project.
You can have a couple of more minutes. When I hear presentations, sometimes I get worried, but we're happy to hear a pitch.
It's elevator.
Elevator. Yeah.
Excellent. My name is Jarrett. I am the development director for Soho House, and I know for probably a very long time, and I'll be very brief with what I say. I'm going to appreciate the time for everybody jumping on. The name Soho House has been coming in and out of conversation in the news, and the town of Rhinebeck and us trying to figure out, are we doing something or are we not? And the reality of the conversation is, we can only do something if we can operate a business there. And it's our desire to try and figure out how we can operate a business in the town of Rhinebeck. Soho House as a brand is a global private members club. We have members of our community that are in film, media, music, arts, and fashion. It was started in London 25 years ago as a very small business, as a social gathering space above a bar in Soho in London. Over the years, we've obviously expanded, we've amassed members globally. And when we go into places, particularly a place like Rhinebeck or anywhere else for that matter in the world, it's important for us to adapt to the local community. We don't just go ahead and put a pin on a map and say, this is where we want to go. We try and find places that are relevant to the community that we have. And I think, one of the reasons why Rhinebeck is attractive to us is because a lot of our members are already living in Rhinebeck. They're going up to Rhinebeck. They're spending time in the Hudson Valley. And so it was a logical space for us to go ahead and develop. We met Jonathan years ago. Jonathan has a property and it is a great candidate for us. We love adaptive reuse. We love historical preservation. If you look at our portfolio of what we've developed across the globe, we try and find properties and rejuvenate them. And the reason we're able to do this is because the membership revenue that our business drives allows us to spend a little bit more on a build cost than anybody else out there as your typical hospitality operator. All of our clubs across the globe that have hotel rooms are open to the public for a member to book. So you can go online and go to, the Farmhouse in London, you can go to Soho House, New York, and Manhattan, and you can book online and stay as a member to the public. As somebody who stays in our hotel rooms, you have access to every single amenity on site. If you are a member of Soho House globally, you can then go to any of those locations if you have the proper membership tier and access the amenities on that site. Some would include a screening room, others would be restaurants and food and beverage spaces, others would just be event spaces where we curate art, film, media that our members can attend. One of the important factors is that we build our membership base in a local community, generally within 10 to 15 miles of where we establish. So we establish a local board and committee of somewhere between 40 and 80 people that are responsible for reviewing the membership applications on a non-discriminatory basis for the qualifications to make sure they're going to enhance the community that we're building. That's the sort of nuts and bolts of it. This is a project for us that we're extremely excited about. We've spent a lot of time over the years going up there, trying to work out a deal with Jonathan, but we want to come into a place and try and add value to the local community. We want to try and give people a place to join and gather and have, a place that they can share like-minded thoughts in. Like I said, film, media, music, arts, fashion is generally where we end up, but that extends to architecture, that extends literary, we do podcasts, we do all sorts of things. And the last and sort of final point is that I know Jonathan has done an incredible job over the years establishing himself within the community and, the events he's hosted on the site, the Continued Science Foundation, things of that nature. We continue to engage locally. We want to be part of the community. We don't want to come up and put walls. We want it to be accepted with open arms. But our business does require having a membership element to it in order for that business to be successful and run the way we'd like to run on a 250 plus acre farm site.
So Jarrett, to be clear, members of the public can book a room and have access to the full site. The membership is a way for people that are not staying overnight to access the property.
Correct, and build in the local community. So the members that we find, if you look at our property in Oxfordshire, or you look in New York, or you look here in California, they will go and they'll use the space to have morning coffee or read their newspaper and socialize. And they'll go ahead and attend the events because we'll have speakers. We'll have, our members will host those events. They'll be able to do, if we want to partner with, a local farm and do a farm tasting, or if there's a vineyard, we host those events locally because we try and stay relevant within the communities. It is at Nick Jones, who our CEO and founder, his core to make sure we are ingrained in the community responsibly.
Thank you, Jared.
You're welcome.
I think we've acknowledged that, membership, need for membership. We understand that it's a revenue stream to help build this out appropriately.
Correct. And I think if it's okay to chime in with a comment there, I think the clarification from what I read in terms of what was proposed, and I think we'll have comments coming from Victoria on it, is very simply to understand the definition and how it relates to the open to the public. The property is private property that does allow members of the public to book hotel rooms and utilize the amenities on the site. But other than that, the only other access to the site is granted via having an existing membership within the community or a global membership. So it's local and then global.
So we'll be providing written comments, and we just wanted everyone to have some context for those comments.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sure, thank you. Anybody else, any questions or comments?
No, I mean, I can just say I just want to explain from my perspective how I got here, which is I was introduced to these guys, well, a while back, but about a year ago, my father and I went and spent time in the projects that they have in about a couple hours outside of London, both of them. And having gone through these things in the Napa Valley, really looking at a whole bunch of different comparable properties, it was far and away the nicest things I've seen in terms of just the physical quality, the level of service, and sort of a spirit to it that recognized some of the historic nature, but also sort of gave it a current kind of mindset. It was impressive, and in seeing that was really what influenced my own sort of perception of it and interest in working with them. And I just wanted to let everybody know that.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Sure.
Does anybody else have any questions or comments regarding the Country Inn 2? And we do have an unofficial public hearing open on hospitality definitions. I know we've revised this. Are there any comments or questions regarding that?
If I may, I'd just like to make a quick comment on the definitions. I think that the definitions that are being proposed now are taking a step in the right direction. And I was very pleased to see the developments that have been made now compared to what was initially presented. I had a nice conversation with Mr. Zarin the other day, and we look forward to working with the board and submitting comments in January. And we hope everybody has a happy holiday.
Thank you. Okay, we've voted on both of these. We've accepted the resolutions and we've set the public hearings, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm in a bit of a time warp. So anybody else? Michael, do you have anything else to say? Can I move on?
I think we're done.
Okay, great. We have one more resolution, 2020-244, waiving the requirement for property owners receiving the senior citizen or persons with disabilities and limited income exemptions to file renewal applications for the 2021 assessment roll. I'll make a motion. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Josh. This is an executive order from the government that extends the time for property exemptions, with a nod towards COVID. So we want to make sure everybody gets her and his exemptions in. So we're adopting this resolution in support of the governor's executive order. Is there any further discussion or any questions? All in favor for the amendment? Any opposed? Carries unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen. Are there any, is there any new business before the town board or any questions about any non-agenda items?
Elizabeth, just 1 second. I just wanted to make sure. I know we voted on the amendments to the resolutions, to the accepting resolutions? Did we definitely vote on the resolutions per
I
se?
believe so. I believe I voted on both. John, can you affirm that?
Yes, we did.
Great,
Yes.
okay.
As amended, as we changed them.
We amended and then we.
Voted on it. Okay,
voted
good.
on
Just want to make sure.
Right.
Thank you. Okay, well, hearing nothing else, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, thanks, Chauncey. Good evening, everybody. Thank you very
Happy
much. for joining
holidays.
us.
Safe and
See you
healthy.
in the new year. Bye.